Good morning, happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I'm going to share with you 5 things that I think you could do to reignite your motivation for the day. If you're feeling a lack of motivation, which we all do, right? Here's 5 things that I want to share with you that I think will help reignite my motivation for the day. Happy Wednesday to you. If you haven't checked it out yet, the Hidden Why podcast, have a look there. Always interviewing great guests, and you can follow us on YouTube as well, depending on where you're watching this video. So I had a fantastic sleep last night, woke up feeling quite refreshed, and I followed my morning routine, and that's an important step. I think you need to do that morning routine if you want to get the right energy, the right mindset, and the right motivation. Definitely follow your morning routine. That's not even on my list today, but do that anyway, and I did that, but I was still feeling this lack of motivation. Okay, after a great sleep, did my morning routine and still not feeling the motivation. So number 1, here's what I think we can do. Here's what I'm going to do anyway. Have a look at my goals. And this is related to business for me, but have a look at my goals. Where am I? Where have I got to? Where am I falling behind? And what can I do to move forward? Because sometimes it's the motivation lacks or wanes in us because we're disconnected from our goals. You know, we have no direction. We don't know what we're aiming at. And if you don't know what you're aiming at, there's certainly going to be a lacking of motivation. So have a review of your goals and your plan. It's a great day, midweek, to reassess that for the week. And it's a great time, anytime, to really reassess that for the month, for the year, where you're at, where you've fallen behind, where you've achieved well, and what you can do moving forward. That can give you some motivation. I think the number 2 thing for motivation, and this more relates to your personal life and goals. You know, what are your personal goals and activities that you've been putting off? What are those personal projects that you've been putting off? Sometimes I think that for me particularly, you know, I prioritize work over my personal life and my health, my wellness, etc. So I think it's important as well to get that motivation is to look at something that you've been putting off, maybe a personal project, maybe something, an activity that you've been putting off. What can you do today, just to even start it, that would help you feel connected again to that? Because again, that is growth, right? So those first 2 things are really related to growth and direction. And if you're not feeling like you're growing, you're going to feel that lacking of motivation. So those are the first 2 things I think are really important to get your day kick started. Number 3, I think really important. I'm guilty of not doing this well enough. Celebrate your wins, right? Sometimes, you know, just that positive input, the positive mindset, thinking about where you've achieved well, and that can be over the last week, the last month, the last year, whatever it might be. Important to just stop and celebrate the wins. What have you accomplished well? I think by reflecting on those things, you'll really find a little bit of an uplift, and you'll find a little bit of a boost in motivation because it'll make you feel good. Geez, look at all the things I've done. Geez, that's great. What can I do now? You know? So it'll help kickstart the next step off in your journey. So that's number 1 is goals and planning. Number 2 is looking at the personal projects and activities that you've been putting off. Number 3, I think, is celebrate the wins. Number 4, I've talked about this plenty, and that's just something to look forward to. I think at the start of the day, if you're lacking motivation, have a look throughout the day. What have you got to look forward to? And it could be work, it could be personal, it doesn't matter. You know, what have you got to look forward to? And you could think about an activity that you've got to do in your workday that really doesn't inspire you, but just think about that activity and what part of that activity could inspire you. What part of that activity could you have to look forward to? It might just be finishing the activity, but it might be something about the activity that you actually have just overlooked and thought, you know what, by doing it, by making the calls, for example, and talking to people, I get to help someone. That's something to look forward to. It could be something else, personal life. For me, tennis tonight, Wednesday. Great, look forward to that. Hopefully the weather stays clear. It could be anything, you know, shutting off at 5, doing a gym workout, going for a walk, catching up with a buddy, whatever you have to look forward to. Think about that because sometimes that will give you the motivation and energy to continue. And the final thing I just want to say, number 5, is just to start, right? I think sometimes for me, yeah, you have this procrastination, lacking of motivation, and rather than starting, you just sort of go, oh, I don't feel the love or the energy today. But sometimes for me, it's just a matter of starting. Once I get started, then I find this motivation and level of flow come back to me. And it could be anything. It could just be because the sleep wasn't that great after all. I'm not sure. But I think those are 5 important things you can do to motivate your day and charge it up midweek, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. Reach out, PM me below, and we'll chat soon.